Welcome back to Hot Girls Eat Carbs. I'm your host, Brittany McChrystal, and thank you so much for joining me today. Whether you're out on your hot girl walk, folding laundry, driving to work, or just lying in bed thinking about your life, this is your moment. Just us girls talking it out. And this is your reminder that this is your cozy corner of the internet where we chat all things health, wellness, and sustainable weight loss without the all or nothing pressure, without the guilt, and definitely without the toxic diet culture rules. And if you love this episode, don't forget to like, share, or leave a little review. It seriously helps more girls like us find this show, and it means so much to me. Today's episode is one that feels so close to my heart. It's the episode I wish somebody had handed back to me when I was first getting started in my weight loss journey. When I was overwhelmed, confused, and constantly second-guessing myself. When I felt like I was doing all of the things, the steps, the workout, eating better, and I still felt like I wasn't making progress. And when I was letting the scale decide whether or not I was proud of myself that day. So if this is where you are right now, I need you to know that you aren't alone in this. So many of us are doing the work, but we're not actually seeing the results yet. Not because we're failing, but because we're looking for progress in all of the wrong places. In this episode, we're going to unpack the biggest myths that are keeping us stuck. And we're talking about the scale, carbs, sugar, fat loss versus weight loss, and how the wellness world has made it way more complicated than it actually needs to be. So if you've ever felt like you're following all of the rules, but still not getting anywhere, I see you. You're not crazy, and you're not lazy. You've just been given the wrong blueprint. But today we're changing that. So let's clear the noise and talk about what actually works. But firstly, let's start with addressing the elephant in the room, the sad scale. I know how much power we give that number. Like, we know that it's not everything, but when we're trying to lose weight and we're doing everything right, it still feels so personal when the number doesn't go down, and it just feels like rejection. I used to be so emotionally attached to it. I would step on the scale and I would see that I had gone up 1.2 kgs overnight, and I would instantly start spiraling. I'd feel bloated, heavy, like nothing was working, and then I'd panic and I'd want to cut calories and do more cardio or just say screw it and eat everything. Like, what was the point? But now I look back and I realize it actually was working. I just didn't understand what was actually happening in my body. The scale isn't just reflecting your body fat. It's showing your total body weight, which includes things like water, food volume, inflammation, muscle mass, even how much salt or alcohol you had the day before. And that number is influenced by so much more than just fat loss. You could eat a perfectly balanced day of meals, hit your steps, train hard, and still weigh more the next morning. Not because you gained fat, but maybe because you had more sodium or you lifted heavy and your muscles are retaining water to help with repair. Or you could have had more carbs, which pull water into the muscles, so you're literally just holding on to a bit more fluid. Even if you're in your menstrual cycle, that plays a huge role. For some women, the scale weight can spike 1 to 3 kgs around their period. And personally for me, it goes up about 2.5 to 3 kgs every single time. And then it'll drop back down within a few days. And I know that that's not fat gain. That's just hormones doing what they do. You may also notice that it goes up after a night out, even if you didn't overeat, because alcohol dehydrates you at first, but then your body holds onto water as it tries to regulate itself again. Plus, most of us aren't eating our usual meals when we go out, and that food sits in the gut for a little longer too. None of that is fat gain. Let's take this into consideration. It takes 7,700 calories for you to gain 1 kg of body fat. If you were to put that into a perspective, that's 7 blocks of family-sized Cadbury chocolate, or 7 Big Macs. I don't think many of us are eating 7 family-sized blocks of chocolate or 7 Big Macs in one sitting. And that's also on top of your daily calorie needs. If you step on the scale after a long flight, poor sleep, a late meal, or even a stressful day, the chances are it's going to be higher. Your body responds to stress, both physical and emotional, and cortisol can cause fluid retention. A poor night's sleep can affect digestion. And I get that even knowing all of this doesn't always make the emotion go away. You step on the scale and you still feel deflated. But that's when I want you to pause and ask yourself, what else in my life is changing? Are you being more consistent with your meals? Are you showing up to your workouts? Are your clothes fitting better? Are you thinking more kindly about yourself and your body? Are you not giving up after one hard weekend? Because that is actually what matters. And that is what creates lasting results. And when the scale does eventually reflect those changes, which it will, if you stay consistent, it'll be because you stopped obsessing over it and started focusing on the habits. That's the shift. When you zoom out and you stop giving the scale the final word on your progress, you take your power back. You stop needing instant results to stay committed. You build trust in the process, in your body, and in yourself. And once you've built that trust, it gets quieter. You stop checking the scale every day. You stop freaking out over one bad meal. You stop starting over every Monday. You just start living. And weight loss becomes the byproduct, not the obsession. If you're still weighing yourself daily and it's messing with your head, this is your permission to take a break. Or just check it once a week, or once a month, or not at all. And to be fair, last year, I didn't weigh myself for almost 8 months because I noticed it was becoming toxic. And I ended up being happier because I wasn't fixating on the scale. I was just focusing on how I felt. And girl, if it's not serving you, if it's pulling you away from the bigger picture, then it's not helping. And the truth is, some of my most successful clients actually stopped weighing themselves completely. They started focusing on how they felt, how they were moving, how much stronger and more confident they were becoming, and their bodies followed with that energy. You don't need a scale to tell you that you're making progress. You already know. You're showing up, you're doing the work, and that's enough. We're taught to chase weight loss like it's supposed to be this perfect linear drop. Like every week the number should just magically go down, down, and down. And if it doesn't, something must be wrong with you. But unfortunately, that's not how our bodies work. And that is not how real weight loss works. Your body is dynamic. It's shifting, adapting, responding to stress, sleep, hormones, food, training, literally everything. And it's always working with you, even when it doesn't feel like it. So you don't need to bully it into shrinking. You just need to understand it. And that just brings me to the myths, the rules, the shoulds, and the things you've probably heard 100 times that sound like the truth, but they're actually the reason you may be stuck. Because you've probably heard it all. Cut out carbs. Don't eat after 6 p.m. Fruit is full of sugar, so it's bad for fat loss. You have to eat clean 100% of the time. Do fasted cardio every morning. Drink lemon water and detox teas. Don't eat more than 1,200 calories. You can't lose weight if you're not sweating. It's so exhausting, right? All of these rules that have you feeling like no matter what you do, it's not enough. But the truth is, most of that advice is either outdated, misunderstood, or just designed to sell you something. And the worst part is, it takes away your focus from what actually works. You get so caught up in trying to be perfect that you forget to be consistent. You end up obsessing over tiny details while missing the bigger picture. Carbs are not the enemy. You can eat rice, bread, pasta, potatoes, and still lose fat. What matters is the overall energy balance, not one specific food group. Fruit has natural sugar, sure, but it's also packed with fiber, vitamins, and nutrients your body needs. And eating an apple isn't the reason you're not losing weight. Let's stop demoralizing real food. And the whole don't eat after 6 p.m., that has way more to do with emotional eating or late night snacking out of boredom. It's not a magical fat burning cutoff time. What matters is how much you're eating over the entire day, not whether your last bite was at 5:59 p.m. or at 8:15 p.m. I also want to touch on the clean eating too. I get it. It sounds good. But most of the time when people say they're eating clean, they're also obsessing, they're restricting, they're creating rules around food that lead to guilt every time they have something that they actually enjoy. That doesn't work long term. You end up feeling deprived, then swinging hard in the other direction. It's an exhausting cycle of being on track or completely off the rails, and it keeps you stuck. And trust me, I went down that path one time, and it was so incredibly hard to pull out of it. And fat-burning foods, they don't exist. There is no such thing as food that burns fat. Fat loss comes from a calorie deficit, plain and simple. You can't out-lemon water a surplus. And let's not get started on the glorification of fasted cardio or low-calorie girl dinner trends. You don't need to suffer to see progress. You don't need to do more cardio or cut your calories to 1,200 or work out twice a day. You just need to do the things that are sustainable for you. I lost 27 kgs eating pasta, having chocolate, going out for dinner, living a life that actually felt like my life. Not some strict, joyless routine that I couldn't stick to. I didn't do anything extreme. I just got consistent. I focused on my habits that I could maintain. Walking, eating high-protein meals, moving my body in ways that I enjoyed, sleeping, drinking water, and not giving up every time I had a bad day. Because that's the stuff that nobody talks about. They sell you plans, but they don't teach you how to stick to them. And that's where the magic is. Not in the perfect plan, but in your decision to keep going even when it's boring. To keep showing up even when the results are quiet. To trust those small efforts repeated over and over because they will change everything. And I know it's not sexy, and I know it's not fast, but it works. And I know how loud that voice is in your head can be when things feel slow. That voice that says, what's the point if I'm not seeing progress? But I want you to challenge that. What if the progress is already happening? It's just not in the way that you were expecting. What if you're building discipline? What if you're gaining self-trust? What if your body is becoming more resilient, more balanced, more aligned? Even if the scale hasn't caught up yet. What if the real win is that you didn't quit? That's what I want you to remember. Weight loss isn't a punishment. It's not about shrinking yourself into somebody that's more acceptable. It's about choosing yourself, creating a lifestyle that feels good, that supports your energy, your mood, your confidence, and your long-term goals. And it should feel empowering. Maybe hard sometimes, sure, but never miserable. If the process feels like suffering, it's not sustainable. And if it's not sustainable, it won't last. You don't have to earn your dream body through misery. You just have to stop giving up. The moment it all changes is the moment you stop asking yourself, how fast can I lose the weight? And start asking, how do I build habits that I won't quit on this time? Because that's where the real glow up happens. So now that we've cleared out all the noise, the myths, the rules, the guilt, let's talk about what actually works and how you can build a sustainable weight loss plan that doesn't burn you out, that doesn't have you quitting after 2 weeks or spiraling every time life gets busy. Here's the thing. It starts with small, boring, consistent habits, not some big overhaul or a Monday morning reset. You don't need a dramatic change. You just need to make it make sense for you. Start with the food. The biggest shift you can make? Stop asking, what can I cut out? And start asking, what can I add in? Add protein to your meals, add fiber, add foods that keep you full, that give you energy, that actually taste good. A chicken wrap with salad and sauce is better for lunch than starving yourself on rice cakes and calling it discipline. You want meals that feel satisfying and sustainable. If you finish a meal then immediately start thinking about food again, that's a sign that it's not enough. You shouldn't have to white knuckle your way through every day. Hunger is not a badge of honor. It's feedback from your body. And don't overcomplicate it either. You don't need to meal prep 7 days a week if that feels overwhelming. Start with 3. Have go-to meals that you enjoy and rotate them. If you're somebody who eats out often, plan for that. Look at menus ahead of time. Find meals that align with your goals but still let you enjoy the moment. Flexibility is part of the plan. And then there's movement. You don't need to train like an athlete to see results. You don't need to do HIIT 6 days a week or burn 600 calories every session. You just need to move, consistently. And that could be walking every day. 3 strength sessions a week, a run here and there, yoga, a dance class. Pick something that doesn't feel like a punishment for you. And if you're just starting, walking is literally one of the best tools you have. It's free, it's gentle, and it adds up. I started my whole journey by just walking 10,000 steps a day. No gym, no tracking, just walking and swapping out some of my meals. And from that place, everything grew. The other pillar, and probably one of the most underrated, is routine. Get consistent with the boring stuff. Sleep, water, steps. These are the things that make fat loss easier without you even realizing. If your sleep is all over the place and you're exhausted, your hunger hormones are going to be all out of whack. You'll crave sugar, you'll overeat, you'll skip workouts. But when you're rested and nourished, it's easier to make aligned choices. And I know you want to be motivated, but what you actually need is rhythm. A structure that helps you keep going even when you don't feel like it. Motivation comes and goes, but routine carries you. So here's your starting point. Eat meals that keep you full, prioritize protein, include carbs, and stop skipping meals. Move your body in a way that you don't need to dread. Walk, train, just move. Drink your water, get outside, sleep more, and say no to chaos. And repeat, even on the days where it doesn't feel exciting. And that's it. That's the formula. Not sexy, not flashy, but it works. You don't need to suffer to lose weight. You don't need to go all in Monday to Friday and then burn out by the weekend. You just need to keep showing up for yourself in small, steady ways. That's how you build a lifestyle that lasts. That's how you become somebody who doesn't just lose the weight, but keeps it off and actually feels good doing it. This isn't about perfection. It's about alignment. It's about looking at your life and asking, what habits do I build that actually support me long term? Not just when I'm motivated. Not just when the conditions are perfect, but every day. Real life, messy, and sometimes boring and bloated days. And if you don't know where to start small. Start with one small habit this week, one meal, one walk, one choice, and do not give up on yourself. That's enough, and it's always been enough. If you've been in a place where you've been showing up, ticking the boxes, doing your best, and still questioning if it's working, I get it. That place is frustrating, it's heavy, and it makes you want to throw your hands up and walk away. But what if the progress isn't loud right now? What if it's happening quietly? In your habits, your mindset, your discipline? What if the fact that you haven't quit is the win? You don't need to see instant results to be on the right path. You just need to keep moving. And some days, that's the hardest part. To trust it's working when you can't see proof in your eyes yet. But I promise you, it is. You're not back at square one. You're miles ahead of the girl who used to give up. You're building something that lasts. And the longer you stay in it, the more it pays off. So keep going. Not perfectly, just consistently. With meals that make you feel good, movement that you don't need to dread, and routines that actually fit your life. And if you're listening to this thinking, I know what to do, but I just can't seem to do it alone. That's exactly why I created my one-on-one coaching. If you want personalized support, a plan that actually works with your lifestyle, and somebody in your corner every step of the way, my coaching might be exactly what you need. You can apply through the link in the show notes or shoot me a message on Instagram and we can chat more about your goals to see if it would be a good fit to work together. If you loved this episode, don't forget to share it with a friend or leave a quick review. It seriously helps me so much being a new podcast, get this show out to new audiences. But in the meantime, I will see you next week. And until then, eat your carbs, drink your water, move your body, and be proud of every choice that keeps you going.